So do you have any other names for calling it?
There's also a member of parliament. Because
okay, let me laugh at you. What? Surely.
Because if you put member of parliament in short, it's MP, and also monthly period.
So what do you say? You say, I'm going to be a member of parliament, or
yes,
I'm a member of parliament?
I am a member of parliament.
So that means that time unanyesha?
Yes.
Surely. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. This is episode 6 of notdoneyetpodcast. And today we're going to talk about a topic that is really dear and near to me. We're going to talk about periods. And joining me today is a guest, a very lovely young woman who is turning 13 in a few days' time. And she's called Jordana. Hi, Mama.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine.
So I'm joined by my lovely daughter today, and we want to talk about periods because we grew up in different eras. So what she experienced and what I experienced are totally different. So that is what we want to discuss today. So yeah, first she will tell us a little about herself. Go ahead, baby.
Asanteni sana for inviting me to this show.
Karibu.
My full name is Jordana Monique Gianni. I am a very full Luo.
So, tell us about your first time. Just basically the experience, like what happened that day, what were you doing when it started? Did you panic? What did you do?
Obvious, I panicked. I was visiting Danny. So we were eating, and I started having some pains in my lower abdomen. Then I asked Danny, nasikia uchungu kuchini nini? Then she's like, nitakwambia tu baadaye, we maliza tu kukula and ulale. So at night, I wake up. I wanted to relieve myself. Then I see blood. I scream. Then she comes. Then she's like, oh, you're just a young lady now, nothing to be scared of. Then she gave me a pad and a clean underwear. And she taught me how to put it on. Then she just told me in the morning, we just go buy a new packet for you.
You know, it's so funny that your Danny was able to have this conversation with you, but she never had this conversation with me. You know? During my time, it was really different. Anyway, let's continue. So, were you prepared? Were you psychologically prepared for your menses?
I'd say yes and no. Because yes, because you had already explained to me what they were and how it would come. No, because I didn't expect it to come when I'm that young. I was only 9 turning 10.
You were 10.
Oh yeah, 10 turning 11. 10
turning 11. Actually, a few days shy of 11.
Yeah, so I didn't expect it to come that, early. Because I read in some books, so in some girls, it even comes at 14, 15.
Yeah, so actually, your menses came really early. And even for me, it was quite a shock. Yeah, although I could not just show you to your face, but I was a bit concerned. I was a bit scared. I was feeling so sorry for you, actually. I was like, oh my God, she's so young. How is she going to deal with all this, Because I wasn't that young when I had my first time. So I was a bit scared, but I just thank God that we had already talked about it. And yeah, you took it like a champ, You were not scared. We didn't really have any difficulties because it's something that we had discussed over and over and you understood. So yeah, so kudos for that. So was it a big deal for you having menses?
I'd say yes, because I was feeling like I've become a young woman in the house. Mommy will treat me the way she's being treated. So yeah, it was a big deal.
So what else what else happened? Because I remember there was a period party. Can you tell guys more about this period party?
Well, in the period party, I received gifts, a lot of gifts.
Yes.
And we had cake.
Yes, we received a lot of gifts. My God. Shout out to Kami.
And I also received a cake. My favorite type of cake. I felt nice. I felt like I'm being welcomed into,
adulthood.
Yeah. So it was nice.
Oh, all right.
This episode of Not Done Yet KE has been brought to you by Barbie Cakes Ksm.
So, at least you had a period party, Jordana. Maze, during our time, there was nothing like period party. First and foremost, I remember so well when I started my P's. So, I was in class 6 then. I was 12. Yeah? I just woke up and I found, my bed was stained. And I got so scared. I was like, oh my God, what is this? Although in the back of my head, I was thinking maybe it's periods. I was not really so sure because we never had this conversation with mom. Like, there's no day we ever sat down and she told me, now you're going to grow up, you're going to grow breasts. So, like the conversations I've had with you, we never had that conversation when I was growing up. So anything that I learned about periods, anything that I learned about womanhood, I learned in school. So whatever content that was there in school is what, I knew about. So in school, they didn't go so much detail because at the end of the day, they also expect parents to be able to tell their kids what is happening. So I had my first periods and they came for 14 days. Imagine 14 days. 1, 2, 3, 14. So for those 14 days, I just used to wash my clothes. If it went to my clothes, I go wash clothes, change. Wash clothes, change. Until there's this lady who was staying in our house who then went and told my grandma. And then my grandma looked for one of the older girls in the estate, one of the neighbors, who came and talked to me and explained to me what is happening and gave me the sanitary towel. And yes, but you see, even in this, my grandma didn't really, I don't know, it's maybe the way they grew up. She didn't really have the conversation with me. My mom didn't have the conversation with me. And I just had a conversation with friends. So Mimi, I relied on friends. So we learned about things through our friendship. Thank God, my friends were also starting periods at the same time. So everything we were just supporting each other as friends. Yeah? Do you have any questions?
Yes.
You look at me weirdly.
Yes, I have a question. Why were you afraid to tell Danny?
I was afraid because she had never opened that channel for us to discuss that. It's not something that we discussed. And my mom used to be really harsh. I know she's really super nice to you now and she's really, really mellowed, but that wasn't her back then when we were growing up. She used to be super harsh. So it was not easy to approach her and to ask her something. Yes. So have you gotten used to having peas?
Yes, I have.
How do you guys call it? Do you call it like having peas or?
We usually have a code at school. The woman with the red flag.
The woman with the red flag?
Yes.
That's how you call it. I think during our time we used to call it red robot. That is for the bougie people. And then the kawaida people just say kunyesha. And you've heard of kunyesha, right?
Yeah.
And then also there used to be this funny term that people used to use back in the day, atina attend. I don't know who came up with that idea of attending, but there's that attending. So do you have any other names for calling it?
There's also a member of parliament.
Because okay, let me laugh at what? Surely.
Because if you put member of parliament in short, it's MP and also monthly period.
So what do you say? You say, I'm going to be a member of parliament or
yes.
I'm a member of parliament?
I am a member of parliament.
So that means that time unanyesha?
Yes.
This episode of Not Done Yet KE has been brought to you by Mkubwa Beauty Parlour.
Okay, that's so interesting. So do you guys discuss menses with your friends? Because for me, I think I relied heavily on friends because we were just learning, we were all learning things together. So did you also do the same?
Yes, we did.
You discuss with your friends?
Especially after learning class 6 science first topic.
What topic was that?
The human body. And adolescence and stuff was taught in that topic. So after that topic, we discussed a lot. We opened up to ourselves. Yeah.
So are your other friends also having menses or just you?
All of us are.
Oh, all of you are?
Yes.
So different because at our time, I think I was one of the first. And a lot of people during my time, I think, had their first periods in high school. Yeah, so for you guys, it's been really early. For most of you, actually, I think. Anyways, so what advice would you give a young girl who is just almost starting her menses or has just started and is scared and doesn't know what to do?
First, they should not be scared. It's a part of growing up. It's part of being a woman also. And they should also open up to adults because they're the only ones who can help you and buy you those stuff. So, kuna tu vile lazima tuambie mtu anytime anywhere. So, vile tu wewe ilibidi tu uambie Dani, you know.
Yeah.
So, they have to. Either way, parents are very cunning. They'll find out.
Of course, you'll find out. You can't hide something like that. And then what would you tell parents? Especially maybe if their parents, not like me, at least me, I was easy and we talked about it. What about those parents who are also scared to have these conversations with their kids? What would you tell them?
They should not be scared. I mean, we are your children. It's normal to have such conversations and you're just preparing your child to adulthood and stuff. So they may not have experience. Yani kama yako, wasikuwa na experience mbaya ati. Then in the future, anaona tu mzazi wa mtu ananunulia. I mean, tutamta ananunulia mzazi wake mali, anasema, mtanunulia mami mali yako ni explain hizi vitu. So yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Jordana. I'm so happy that I had you. And I must say that you took your periods well, you know, because we had prepared you psychologically and you took it as a champ. And I'm so happy for that. You didn't have a hard time. You've never had a hard time with it. And yes, just continue having these conversations. Don't be embarrassed. Don't ever be ashamed to talk about your periods. You see, it is part of growing up. It is part of being a woman. And yeah, periods are here to stay for a really, really long time. So it's not something that you should shy away from talking about, even to your friends. Yes? And always make sure you have some stashed somewhere for your friends. Somebody who is just starting out or somebody who didn't carry hers or something like that.
I carry them in my pocket and in my bag every day.
Yes, it's important to always have something stashed out for a friend or even for you on some days that you will not be able to know if your peas are coming or not. So thank you so much for being here with me. What would be your parting shot today?
To the girls out there, don't be shy to talk about your periods. Be open to your parents and tell them, Mommy, I have started and I need this and that and that. And also, don't be embarrassed or afraid to talk about it with your friends. It's part of growing up.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, baby.
Bye.
Walimwes, thank you so much for listening to the Not Done Yet podcast. And please follow us on all our social. We are Not Done Yet KE. And yes, by the way, we are not done yet.